Welcome! I thought I'd bring you along today to style a spring table. Nothing too polished, just a few of my favourite bits and bobs, herbs from the garden, vintage cutlery, beautiful antique table linens. Let's see where we go.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage.
I'm Louisa and this is my channel, Elegantly Knackered Style, where vintage meets soulful living.
Door. So hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love.
I always look around my home and garden for inspiration, and this spring I'm drawn to sage greens, soft blues and vintage pinks for my table setting. Let me talk you through where I've got so far. The starting point really was I knew I wanted to use these Burley Davenport plates. Although I bought these a couple of years ago in a charity shop, I think it was, these are reminiscent of my student days. Even as a student, I loved nice crockery, and I had a plate, a side plate, a bowl, a cup and saucer, this design, and a little serving bowl, I think. Even then, as a student, I used to set the table, especially at the weekend when I was sitting down for a nice meal, and this was the pattern that I had. Those bring back so many happy memories. I knew I wanted to use those on my table. I'm using the new to me vintage cutlery, which I picked up at my antique market the other week. Can you believe it? These were brand new, still in their box. They're about 50 years old, I think. It's most unlike me to have a complete matching set. It's always mix and match where I'm concerned, but for once I've gone all matchy-matchy. I'm going to tie just some rustic string around my napkins. Rather than opting for matching candles to my table linen, I've gone for these beautiful soft pink ones. They actually have fragrance too. A lovely vintage pink with a vintage rose fragrance. Those are from True Grace. Then to the table linen. When I was making myself a cup of tea earlier, I realised that the mug matches the table linens that I've opted for. This is a lovely Emma Bridgewater mug that a friend bought me a couple of years ago. Nothing says spring more than a lovely soft sagey green and soft blue napkins. I think I'm going to go into the garden now and see if I can find any herbs and flowers. As you can see, I absolutely love doing this. Tablescaping is such fun. What sort of table settings do you lay? Are they formal, not so formal? I'd love to know. Tell me about your spring table. Working on a soulful spring table, I'm not looking for perfection. This is relaxed, rustic living at its best. I want my family to sit down and enjoy their environment, but not feel pressured to feel too formal. These tulips are really going past their best. I spotted them in the living room in a vase. They're about to fade away and die. I thought that I would use them in my arrangements. I also spotted in my living room some green candles, which I've added into the mix. At this point, the prep work is done. Now it's time for the fun to start. Let's set the table. Now I'm setting the table, I'm reminded that every vintage plate and piece of linen carries its own memory from the past. These items aren't just things, they're the details that make the table a place of happiness, where stories are shared and new memories can be made. As I set the centrepiece, you can see how the textures and patterns come together to create a space full of meaning. It's not about achieving perfection, it's about letting every piece have its impact and creating an inviting setting for everyday moments. With jazz playing in the background, the energy of the day carries on while the table stands as a clear spot for gatherings, conversations and quiet smiles. This table is a stage for simple joys, moments that have been, are being, and will be remembered. And this is my soulful tablescape, elegantly knackered style. It's imperfect, it's informal, following no table setting rules, but it's perfect for me. It's great for a family meal or for friends. There's plenty of room to put food on platters around, and there's plenty of room for guests as well. These little coloured tea lights in old vintage jam jars add a pop of colour. I've gone for dusky pink and greeny grey. They also look pretty in old glasses too. Oh, this candle keeps going out. I'll sort that out in a minute. Everything here came from my home or garden. Nothing was bought specifically for this tablescape, and that's to me what a soulful table is all about. Using the things around you, using the seasons, and just creating your version of happiness. I really hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again next time. If you did enjoy it, please do remember to subscribe, to like, to comment. All of these things help me grow my account. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.